God didn't move, you did. And most people don't even realize they're drifting until they're already far away from him. Today, we're showing you exactly how to find your way back. What's up, Conversation Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I am LaMeka.
And I am Ed.
And today, we're talking about
what happens when you feel far from God. Ooh. Look, I think that here's the thing. A lot of times, a lot of people, especially in these day and times, are feeling far from God. We're feeling disconnected from God. And it's this, is God moving away from me? Am I moving away from him? What's going on? Like, what's happening here? And so, LaMeka, have you ever felt far from God? Like there's a disconnect, like he wasn't there? What's going on?
Definitely. I've definitely felt or had moments where I felt like I couldn't feel God's presence. There's been times where, for me, there's a certain worship song that gets you and you feel that it hits you just the right way and you feel like God's presence come in that moment. Or, going to church sometimes and you walk in and you feel his presence and his spirit. There's definitely been occasions where that song didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
There's been moments where, I was going through something and I walked into church and didn't feel anything. Not saying that the spirit necessarily wasn't there. It's just that I wasn't in a place where I could feel it. So I have definitely had those experiences. How about you?
Yeah, I've felt that way too. I've had those moments where, like you said, that song that used to really rattle me and get me going, I just felt dead inside. Those moments when trouble was happening in my life, I didn't feel like I was connected. I didn't feel like, I know those times where I felt like I could hear God and we were walking step by step. And then there's those other times where I just felt like I'm out here by myself.
Right, like you're praying and nothing's happening.
Right. That there's no connection. Like, it's almost like a vibe. Like, you ever been dating somebody or you have a vibe, or, I've been married a long time, long time. And I feel that, those times, even in my home, like, you feel those times where me and my wife will have this rhythm.
Right.
And you have this great rhythm going. And then there's sometimes it's like, something's off. And something's off right now. And there's times, even with God, you feel like we're in this great rhythm. And then there's sometimes like I read and it just feels like words. I pray and I just feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm listening to worship music and it doesn't feel like anything extra. It's not hitting. And I'm like, God, what is going on? And it feels really different because when I felt close to God, there's this rhythm, like I said, there's this connection, there's that song hit, and there's something in me that just that goes with it. There's this I feel like I pray and I feel like I get answers. I pray and I feel like I see stuff happening. I see God moving in these spaces. Yeah, how about you? As far as like, what does it feel? What does it feel like to you when you're close?
Oh, when I'm close to God, actually, it's just a different level of peace.
I like that.
Just a different level of peace. It's kind of like nothing bothers me, nothing gets me off kilter, knocks me off my square. It's kind of like things are happening in life. Nothing's necessarily changing in my environment, but the way I'm responding to things is different. It's like God is right there. I know. And he's guided me through. I have this different level of peace and calm in how I handle situations. I'm praying more, talking to him more. I can hear him a lot clearer. And it's like, I'm not stressing. Just so peace, a lack of stress So that's what it feels like for me when I'm closer to God.
I love that. I love that, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is a peace. There is this knowing.
It's a freedom. There's liberty. There's freedom. And that freedom is, I'm free from worry. I'm not worried about different things. There will be moments, and I can always tell too, when I'm drifting, I'm not as close to God as I used to be. When situations happen and I'm responding differently, I'm getting rattled, or I'm getting frustrated or angry or whatever, all of the things. And it's like, what's happening? Because that peace is fading.
It's almost like stuff bothers me quicker, like you said, like little things irritate me.
We're gonna use that word. Because I be in here saying irritated all the time. Yeah, something always ever like, that's irritating. Irritating me.
We're gonna do it like this.
Irritated me. But that's when you have peace, it's less irritable.
It's interesting when the Spirit of the Lord is settled with you, when you feel close to God. Things don't irritate you. Things don't make you mad as quick. Like how about this? There's a higher tolerance for foolishness when God is with you, or you feel closer to Him. But when you don't feel close to Him, it's almost like things set you off a lot quicker. Things bother you. Things take you down this weird road a lot quicker when this closeness is not there. And how, does it, when you felt like that, did it feel like it went fast? Did it feel like it got slow? Did you one day wake up and like it's gone, or where you at, or is it kind of a slow burn, like a pressure cooker, or a crock pot? For you, like, did you notice that it was leaving, or did you one day? What was that like for you?
Yes.
To
all of that. So it was kind of I just kind of had a moment where it's like, what's going on? What's happening? I would say, maybe woke up and was like, what's going on? But I think it wasn't woke up in the morning and realized it was kind of like in the middle of the day, just kind of a moment like, wait a minute. You've been way too irritable lately. You've been way too frazzled about stuff. You've been very sarcastic. I can always tell when I'm stressed out, because I'm very sarcastic. Somebody asks me a question or say some things, and I have a sarcastic remark to shoot back with, and so it's like, wait, what's going on with you? And it's kind of like, all right. And then I have to pause and analyze things, because now I have my moment, right? So all of a sudden in my mind, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Because you acting like this. And then I have to stop and evaluate and see, how did I get here? Okay, you haven't been praying consistently, all it takes is 1 or 2 mornings to wake up late or run late or go to bed late, or something happens to throw your day off, and now you skip prayer 3 days in a row, or you haven't read, or your schedule is crazy busy, and it's like I have to squeeze some time in for God right here, because we put Him on the back burner. Our schedule fills up with, maybe it's just me, my schedule can fill up with a whole bunch of things, and then it's like, okay, I did all these things, now I'm tired. Oh, I needed to talk to Jesus today. I'm gonna talk to you in the morning, because now I need to get some sleep, because I'm tired. I've been running all day. Yeah. And after a couple days of that, and you start to see that gradually you end up in this place. You won't necessarily notice that you're in that place until you far gone in that place, and now you just cutting up, and you like, well, wait a minute, because it's a whole bunch of severe signs. But the little signs that were happening along the way that you ignored is what got you to this big place.
Yeah, I like to call it the drift.
Yes.
I think that what happens is, and I will say it for me, it's this slow wind, this slow drift. Like, it don't happen like overnight.
Right.
It doesn't happen all at once. There's this slow drift that happens, and then you kind of wake up and go, well, how did I get here? I'd like to tell this story. You've probably heard it way more than you want to hear it, and being in church, and so you're gonna hear it one more time.
I'm sure it won't be the last time.
It probably won't be the last time.
It's okay.
But several years ago, when my son, and this was really a long time ago, it's probably at least 10 years ago now, I went on a class trip with my son, and we went out in the canoe, which I found out later we weren't supposed to. We went out on the lake in the canoe, and I just thought we put our paddles in the boat, and I just started taking pictures, and I was talking to him and not paying attention. The water was really calm. Mm-hmm. It was didn't look like it was moving, didn't look like anything was happening. I was taking pictures. I called my wife on the phone. Hey, we out here on the canoe where everything's going. And I look up, and all of a sudden we were at least 100 yards away from where we started. And I'm going, how did we get here? Mm-hmm. There was no visible movement in the water. I did not paddle out here, but the undercurrent that I could not see moved us to a place that I did not want to be. And then to get back to where we were, we had to paddle and go extra hard, twice as much.
Wow.
To get back to our original location, to that original place. Just to get back. And I think that's what happens with God. We feel far from God. We fall away from God. God didn't move. God stayed where he was, but we drift. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason we drift is because we're not intentional. Intentionality causes lack of intentionality to keep us in that same space. See, if we would have had the paddles out and we would have kept moving and we would have kept, and if I wasn't on the phone and taking pictures distractions, that would have been, I would have been in the same location or still close to where we started. But when I took my foot off the pedal, we started to drift. And so what we wanted to talk about is some of the reasons we start to feel far from God. What are some of the reasons that could actually cause you to drift? And one of the reasons we start to drift is comfort. Mm-hmm. Comfort. See, here's the thing that I've noticed about, it could be my walk, your walk, some of our walks, is when things are going well in our life, we get very unintentional about what got us there. Yeah. It's like, you ever been around the people that they really call on God when things are going bad, when they need something, when they want something?
At church every week.
Yep, they at church every week. And soon as that prayer is answered, as soon as the thing kind of blows over or subside, or their husband start acting right, or their wife start acting right, or their money stop being funny, and all of that, you don't see them as much anymore. Prayer life starts to fall off. The intentionality around the relationship, because like I said, when me and my wife are in a great rhythm, there's a great intentionality in our relationship. If that intentionality falls off, the rhythm starts to fall off.
Right.
If you get too comfortable in that relationship, the intentionality falls off. If you get too comfortable in that relationship with God, if things going well and your intentionality starts to lose, to not be as intentional, then we start to fall off to the thing that got us there.
That's true. We treat God like a neglected spouse a lot.
Oh.
We treat him like, that spouse that you're so used to them showing up, doing all the nice things and doing everything they're supposed to do. And so you don't give them any attention because that's what they're supposed to do. But then the minute something started going wrong, things would be a little off, then now you want to ask questions. And like, what happened and what? Because you ain't showed them no attention all this time. You ain't spent any time with them. You expect them to just keep doing, keep giving, keep doing, and you ain't spent no time with them. And then the minute things start to shift in the relationship, and all of a sudden it's, well, what happened? How did we get here? You ain't talked to me. We went on a date. We went on a date in years.
In years.
And now I make a comment and you want to act so surprised. Like, that's how we do God.
That's how we do. We get so comfortable that our intentionality in that relationship or maintaining that relationship and so we start to drift, and then we start to feel far from God. True. Next thing that happens, that really attacks our comfort level is we get busy. Our busyness, especially in the United States. Now I know there are some people that may be listening in other countries. But here in these United States of America,
the good old U.S. of A.,
there's so much busyness. And what do I mean? Instead of building our schedule around God, we try to fit God into our schedule. Yeah. We fill our schedule out with work and exercise, and with our television schedule and our social media and internet schedule.
Yep, and friends, because everybody got a party and a birthday and something to hang out to go to.
And kids' schedule. And we're so busy that then let's fit God in somewhere. Instead of making God a priority in our life, what we do is try to fit God in, and usually we don't.
Right, we put him on the back burner and then we forget about him. Then we look up and we need to get a prayer through, and we don't have no power, we don't feel no power, and we trying to figure out what happened.
And he feels real far because there was no intentionality.
Right.
He feels real far because there was no, there was no, I want you to think about it this way. Don't think about God he way up there and we way down here. Think about him as someone that we're in a relationship with. Think about that person that you want to have a meaningful personal relationship with, and that relationship does require time. Yeah. That relationship requires some attention. And if you have somebody down here on the earth that you want to have a relationship with, and you just trying to fit them into your schedule instead of them being a priority in your schedule, what do you think that relationship's going to look like in the end? True. And so we're so busy that we don't fit God in until we need something. We're so busy until we want something. We're so busy until we're desperate for something. And then now he becomes a priority.
Right.
And then when it feels far, because we hadn't made time for him, and that goes back to our comfort level.
And then something that you said when you're talking about y'all had to work really hard to get back. And so that's how it feels. And it's like that song's not hitting the same, or this thing isn't happening. It's so much harder to get back into the routine, and I hate to say the word routine, but to get back into that intentional space where you're intentionally praying and reading and worshiping and seeking him, to be intentional about it. It's harder to get back in that rhythm once you've drifted so far.
Yeah. It's really, really hard, to readjust your schedule. once you got so far, or what?
Or what? Not even necessarily readjust your schedule, but to deny yourself.
Oh, take up your cross.
No. I'm gonna talk about me real quick.
Go ahead.
See, he always had me talking about me and telling my business.
Wow.
But, I remember this particular time, and I'd be like, that I had drifted and things was a little iffy, and I was like, I don't be having time because my schedule busy and this and that. And the Lord was like, yeah, but you managed to find time to watch your recorded TV shows. I know y'all might not watch a lot of TV. YouTube is the thing now, and we got all this other stuff. But I like Chicago PD. That's one of the shows that I like. And I recorded every Wednesday.
Wow.
Faithfully. And then I make specific time, because Wednesday nights I may not, we got Bible study on Wednesday night. It's right before Chicago PD come on. But afterwards I'm in a different space and I might not watch it, but I record it and I make sure that I watch it every week. He's like, but you make sure that you make time to watch that. You sit down, you make sure that you have time to do social media time. And any one of those moments, you can spend time with me. So we actually went on this consecration or this fast at church. And one of the things that I did was, it was 3 days, any days that you choose. And I chose specifically that I was going to do no TV on Wednesdays.
Ooh.
Because I had to make God a priority. And so in the times when, and Thursdays, because in the time where I would run it back and watch it or whatever, no, I'm gonna take that time and I'm gonna pray, or I'm gonna talk to God, or I'm gonna watch something biblical, and I'm gonna be intentional about that. So just like we make time to spend with people or to do other things, we have to specifically make God a priority. We have to deny ourselves of some things that we like, some things that we want to do, and put God in those spaces and show like, okay, God, I am denying this thing and I'm putting you first.
Yeah. Amen. You better preach that thing. Oh, no, I'm just playing. The third, one of the next reason that we start to feel far from God is our disobedience. Disobedience, like we hear what God says, we hear, and then we just say, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
And that's an interesting space when we say, I don't want to do, I don't want to be, I don't want to say, I don't want to go. Well, then we always looking for the new thing.
But you know what? Just to jump in real quick, and the more you say no to God's voice, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
And then it becomes so easy that you don't even hear his voice nudging you anymore, because you've become so desensitized to what he's saying.
Yeah, and because we become so desensitized, when he hears, it becomes easy. And now we've numbed his voice. And when you numb his voice, you feel far from him because you don't hear him anymore, because you've said no so many times. Yeah. You said yes to you and no to him. And now when he's speaking, even when you talking and you listening for him, you don't hear him because you keep disobeying.
Yeah. Because his voice no longer holds that weight in your life.
Ooh. And so we have to get to a place where we have to seek his voice again. And a lot of times for me, it's reading and listening for the voice that I'm hearing. And it's the still small voice. And see, a lot of times we look for God in the big things. And a lot of times he's speaking in small stuff. Turn left instead of right today. I mean, how about that? Wear this shirt, men of God, men of strength. Wear that shirt today instead of wearing another shirt today. Right. Put these shoes on. It's like we listening to like, God, should I invest this $100,000 over here?
Ooh-wee.
Or, God, should I buy this? No. How about the still small voice and what we consider small instructions? Let's start there.
Right. The little voice that say, hey, call and check on such and such.
Because here's the thing. You know, you'll hear me say this more than once. When God is talking to you, it's because somebody else is talking to him. Yeah. And you ever call somebody and they be like, man, this call was right on time. Man, I really needed this. And you like, why? I ain't talked to them in a month. Why you want me to call now, God? Right. Oh my God, I'm tired. I want to go watch my show. Right. Or you want me to call them. You already know how they act. They going to be complaining and doing this. I don't feel like having that conversation. I don't want to listen to that, but call them anyway. Or you want me to call them. You know they going to ask me for something. That's the one right there. I mean, and we should have led with that. Yeah, we should have started. But the disobedience and not doing what God says starts to numb his voice. And then you start to feel far because you don't hear him like you heard him. And because you didn't hear him with the little stuff. You didn't hear him with the stuff that we thought was insignificant. We didn't hear him or obey with the stuff that we didn't want to obey about or hear him about. We want to hear God when it comes to something we want. Right. You know, when I'm going to get my house, when I'm going to get my car, when I'm going to get this money, when I'm going to get, you fill in the blanks. That's true. But when it's something that God needs from us as an agent in the earth for him and we disobey, we start to not hear his voice so clearly, and then we feel far. Right. And how about another reason we start to feel far from God is distractions, entertainment, social media. culture. We got so many choices, so many things to do. You know, that fast that you were talking about, so I call this fast in our church. And one of the interesting things that I found was the Holy Spirit, when he led Jesus into the wilderness for a fast. He could have led Jesus back into the city for the fast. He could have led Jesus back around his friends for the fast.
Let him home.
He could have gone back to the house, gone back to this house and do this fast. No, the Holy Spirit led Jesus to the wilderness. He led him into isolation for a fast. So not only did he fast food, he fasted influences.
Yeah.
He fasted friends. He fasted gossip. Who did what, when. He fasted the conversations. So that's why LaMeka was fasting TV on those days, because we were fasting things that were influencing us. What distractions are causing your schedule to be messed up? What distractions are causing you to be too comfortable? What distractions are causing you to be disobedient? What is it that's causing you? What entertainment? What games on your phone? How many hours a day do you play games on your phone or your tablet that you could be spending time with God and hearing his voice?
Yeah.
How many hours a day are you watching TV that you could be spending time with God? I hope, watching us right now is helping you actually get closer to God and hear God's voice.
This don't count.
This don't count. How many hours is your thumb doing this? Or is it doing this on social media when you could be spending time with God? So we got so many distractions.
Yeah.
We got so many things. We got so many choices of things we can do other than spend time with God. And so then we wonder why we feel so far away. We wonder why we feel so disconnected.
Yeah.
Because intentionally, we only connect with God when we need something. And when we don't, when we're comfortable, our attention goes to entertainment.
True. Even when we're bored.
Ooh.
When we're bored. So in those moments, like, okay, ain't nothing to do. Let me just scroll and see what's happening on TikTok. Let me scroll and see what's happening on such and such or whatever social media platform you want to look at. And we'll do that. It's like, okay, when you're bored, how about just talk to God? Pray, read the Bible. Listen to some worship music. Try to shift that.
Right. And so as we are, and we can spend a whole lot of time, but I think y'all know social media, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, TikTok, whatever what games, whatever, we know that if we had a tracker on our phone, if we had a tracker on our tablet, if we had a tracker on our day, we would be amazed at the time we spend mindlessly doing things that aren't intentional about spending time with God. And then we ask ourselves, why do I feel far? Why don't I feel connected? Yeah. Why doesn't that worship song do it for me like it used to? Why does me reading don't connect like it used to? Why does my prayer feel empty? Because I haven't spent time with the person that I say I love. Right. I haven't spent time with the person that I say that I want to be close to, because closeness requires time.
It does.
Closeness requires talking. I like to say, communication. People don't fall out of love; they fall out of communication. And when I stop communicating, is when that love starts to dissipate. And so here's a couple things that we just want to share with you guys. I like to say, as we start to land the plane, as we start to come in for the descent, a couple things I want to share with you guys. Some practical steps to start feeling closer. We've probably said them all, but I'm going to repeat them. Number one, be intentional about your time with God. Be intentional Build God into your schedule. Put God in your schedule and commit to it.
Yes.
I'm not saying you got to get rid of all your stuff, but put God into your schedule and commit to it instead of trying to build your schedule and then fit God into your schedule.
Yes.
Anything you want to add to that?
Nope, you said it.
I said it. Mm-hmm. Here's one we haven't mentioned that I really want to say is God is found in community. See, a lot of people are like, I know God for myself and I'm by myself, but God is really also found in community. The Bible does say where 2 or 3 are found together, gathered together in my name, I am there also in the midst. Make sure you're still going to a church. Make sure you're still in community, in small groups, in church. He says, don't forsake yourself gathering together with other folk. Believers, people who will push you in love, push you in intentionality, who will challenge you. Don't forsake community. Community is still a place where God meets his people at. Mm-hmm. You're going to, let me say it like this. You're not going to be a lone wolf finding God as fast or as well as you're going to find him in community.
Right.
The Bible is very specific about God being in the midst in community. And so if you're feeling far from God now, make sure you find a good church community. We're building a community here online, but online is not even sufficient. Find a community with some other humans.
Physically
with some other humans.
Another key thing is the community and being around believers is sometimes we drift because of the company we keep.
Ooh.
Sometimes
you better say that.
Right. Sometimes we drift because, you started out real strong, doing real good, and you was over here, and then you started to hang out with these other people, and they're pulling you the opposite way. And when you have that moment and you realize that I don't feel God like I used to, maybe you have to check the company you keep. Maybe you have to check your friends. Maybe you have to reevaluate the places you go. Everybody can't go to the club and hang out and then on Saturday and go to church Sunday and praise Jesus and be okay. That's impactful. Mm-hmm. And whether you believe it or not, you're subtly drifting away from God. It may not happen all at once. You may do it a couple times and feel okay. You may be able to hang out with them and do all those other things and be all right to start with. It may feel like that, but trust me, you'll find yourself in a drifted place where you're far from him, trying to find out how I get my way back. So it's important to be around believers, people who are seeking God just like you are. So when you do have a moment where you're trying to slip, they pushing you and pulling you back in the right way.
Yeah, because the wrong crowd is going to continue to drift and pull you away. Mm-hmm. And the right crowd is going to push you back towards God. And that's why it's important to be around a community of believers.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing is obey quickly, even when it's uncomfortable. Obey quickly, even when it's uncomfortable. And a lot of times, I always like to say, God a lot of times pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone is oftentimes built out of your conditions. A lot of times your comfort zone is built from places you've been hurt. And so you've said, I'm only going to say yes to this and no, I'm going to say no to this because of places I've been hurt. But in reality, that's a comfort zone you've built, and God's going to push you out of your comfort zone. So obey quickly, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And here go the most uncomfortable one of all. Turn off the TV. Put the phone down. Turn off the TV.
What is with him and this singing today? Don't do it. It's okay.
I got to finish the song. Put the phone down. All you want to do.
No, that's okay. So that was the last point?
That was the last one. Turn off the TV and put the phone down. because those are the biggest distractions that are keeping you from your intimate relationship with God. Think if you were married and you never talked to your spouse, but you were on your phone, your computer, your TV the whole time, and you never talked to your spouse. But the only time you talk to your spouse is when you want to.
When you want something.
You want something. And you know what I'm talking about.
No, just
or you want something.
Other things. And you can want anything.
You want anything.
You can want a meal. You can want them to cook you something to eat.
Anything. And when you want anything, whatever the something is that you want. Food, laundry, or something. Whatever you want. The only time you talk to your spouse is when you want something. But any other time you're engaged on your phone, your computer. That's not intimacy.
It's not. That's
not connection. And you're going to feel far. If the only time that you connect with them is then they're going to feel far from you, you're going to feel far from them, and then you're not even going to want to be connected to them in that way anyway. And so so then now you're lost there too, and now you're in a relationship, a human relationship that's not connected because you're connected to other things.
So yeah, why we do God that way? We only want to talk to Him when we want something. And you brought up, a spouse and how would they feel, but how would you feel if the only time somebody talked to you is when they wanted something? If the only time your friend reached out is when they wanted a couple dollars, or the only time your child talked to you is if they needed something from you? Can y'all imagine? I know how I feel when it happens to me. So think about it. If only time we talk to God is when we want something.
Yeah.
Only time I talk to Him is, God, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. He gonna be like, we got to develop that relationship. So what do you say? Turn the TV off. The TV be for me, put the phone down, because I know a lot of us are on our phones. But spend some time with Him. Talk to Him, get to know Him.
Yeah, talk to Him, get to know Him. And again, don't avoid community. Be intentional about your time. Be intentional about your time with Him. And I promise you, as you start to do those things, guess what? You're going to start feeling close again. You're going to start feeling that connection again. And especially when you start to obey. Obey quickly. You're going to start feeling that connection again. And so when the big stuff starts to come up, when you obey during the little stuff, when the big stuff starts to come up, you won't be irritated. You won't be worried. You won't be anxious. And you won't feel like you're alone. Because God is with you. God is with you. And so I hope this episode actually helped. I hope if you're feeling far away from God, you got more questions. What is it? You got more questions?
Yep. You can put them in the comments right there, and we'll take a look at them and do our best to see if we can answer those for you. If
you got some prayer requests or prayer needs about where you are right now and your closeness to God, make sure you click down in the notes down there, in our notes, and if you put that prayer request in, we will pray for you, and you might even hear from us. Might get a text message or voice text from us with that prayer. But we want to be committed to serving you. We're committed to really helping you in this spiritual walk. We love if you comment, love if you share, love if you like this and subscribe and continue to watch. And once this goes to the end, we got some other great episodes for you. So continue to watch, and hopefully that we can continue to help you in your spiritual journey to get closer and connected to God. Because my goal is for you, and our goal really is for you to have this meaningful, personal relationship with God. And so
Amen. And so if you have also any suggestions or anything that you would like us to talk about, you can go ahead and comment with those too, and we'll take a look at those and see if we can work some of those into our Let's Talk About It conversations.
All right, so the plane has landed, and we go see you guys next episode.